Well, hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. I was very excited to make this video because this is actually one of the most asked questions that I get from younger people that want to go travel, that want to explore the world, and that just want to involve themselves as a person, as a human being. Just first on the side note, if you hear any birds or cars or rain or something like that, it's because I've got my window open. It's been hot for the past few days. It's been so humid here and I had to open up the window, otherwise I'll be sweating down to the drain. Anyways, so how did I get my job on board a cruise ship? So there's actually a few questions that are really important for you to ask yourself to find out what will be your process. How are you going to go with this? I wrote them down because, as I always say, I tend to forget things. So here's my little beautiful note block. Your first question is, what will I do on board? What will be the job that I want to pursue on board? And sometimes it will be a job that you can't apply for the first time for. Like, for example, maybe you want to be a captain and you've never worked on a cruise ship before. You cannot apply for that. But then you can apply for a job that you can actually involve into becoming a captain, or involve into becoming the housekeeping manager, or whatever your dream job is. There is so many ways to get there. If you want to work in the bar, there is a very high likeliness that you can apply to go and work in the bar. If you want to be in housekeeping, you can very easily apply to get into housekeeping. If you want to work at the guest relations desk, obviously you need to have some kind of things for that. So the other question is, what are the requirements for my job? Do I need a special diploma? Do I need a special education? Do I need certificates? Do I need this? Do I need that? So all of those requirements for that particular job, you need to find out and make sure that you have that, because if you don't, chances are that you cannot get that right away. So with those requirements for the particular job, you also have different requirements, such as visas, such as declarations that you don't have any, that you are not a criminal, right? So like these declarations. So you need to apply for those things. You need to get those things apart and ready and sorted. You need to do medical tests. Now there are special medical facilities where you can go to actually get yourself tested for everything. And there's a whole requirement for all of these things, and you cannot just go to any doctor. There's only particular doctors that are required to do these seafarers medicals, if you will. So that is very important. Now, for me personally, when I first joined ships, it took me about 3 months total to prep and to get all of this paperwork done. And it's not just the time that it will cost you, it will cost you some money as well. You'll have your requirements for the job and you'll have the requirements to actually go and work on board a cruise ship. Those two you need to all get together before you can apply for the job. Now the other question is, maybe you have a preference for cruise lines, because every single cruise line has got their thing. So what cruise lines would you like? Now have a few of them ready, because you might not be accepted for one, but maybe you'll be accepted for the other. So pick out your cruise lines, see what kind of clientele is there. What would you enjoy? Would you enjoy families? Would you enjoy the younger crowd, more party crowd? Would you enjoy elderly, that they're on their pension? There's so many different things that you can look at, and all of these cruise lines have their own little niche. The other thing is, when can you go? How fast can you leave your job? When, like, maybe a contract will end and at that time you can go. So it's a bit of timing as well, and it's very important for the cruise line to know when you can go. When can they hire you and when will you be available? So have that ready and be prepared to answer that question. The last question is, where am I gonna apply? Because there's a few jobs that will actually apply not just with the cruise line, or not at all with the cruise line. You will actually apply with a different company. For example, my first contract, I did not apply at all with the cruise line. I applied with a separate company that actually did something on board for the cruise line. So I was actually working in the spa, and I think all of the cruise lines, they don't operate the spa themselves, because it's a whole other niche, it's a whole specialty. So what they do is they hire in a company to actually do that. Now with that, that company will do the hiring of their personnel. So I actually applied with the company Steiner, and that's where I got my job. And then Steiner as a company decided what cruise line was going to be best for me, and they put me on Norwegian Cruise Line. So there are so many different ways. But let's say if you want to work in housekeeping, guest relations, at the bar, future cruises, those are things that are definitely with the cruise line. So then you need to apply for the actual cruise line. So those two things are very important to keep in mind. Some jobs are directly with the cruise line, and some of the jobs are actually with a separated company. And depending on what you will want to do, you will choose what your application process is going to be. But the other questions very much remain the same. And also, if you're applying for something that's not directly with the cruise line, so a separated company, but they will put you on a cruise ship, you will still need all of the requirements and paperwork that any other person would need to work on that cruise ship, because yet you're still working on that cruise ship. Very important. So all those things are very important for you to know, and obviously on the website you will find a lot of information. Now if you have a question about this, just leave it down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer the question if I can, and otherwise I'll probably link you through to something that will actually give you that information. Thank you everybody for watching. It was tons of fun to actually share this with you, because I think a lot of people don't even really realize how many people can actually work on board. Now if there's other things that you wish to know, like pros and cons or my personal ship journey or other things, leave it down in the comments below, because I love to hear your feedback on this as well. What do you think is interesting? Because I'm more than happy to do that for you too. Of course, give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.